Listen closely for a moment. You didn't land on this video by accident. You're here because a part of you already knows that abundance is real, close, and ready to meet you. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to talk to you like a friend who sees your greatness clearly. And I'll show you a practical way to let more money, more peace, and more joy flow into your life. Without strain, without gimmicks, and without pretending. If that sounds like what you've been waiting for, you're in the right place. Before we begin, make a small promise to yourself to stay open, just for this one conversation. And while you're here, tap subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. If this resonates, hit like as a signal to your future self that you're ready to receive. Now breathe. You are safe, you are seen, and you are ready. I want you to hear a sentence that might feel unbelievable at first, yet something inside you will recognize it as true. What you want is already here, not out there in a distant future, not locked behind someone else's permission. Already here. The money you desire, the happiness you crave, the solutions you've been searching for. Think of them as a radio broadcast playing right now in the room you're in. You don't hear it until you tune the dial, but the station is on. Your job isn't to build the station. Your job is to tune your mind and your actions to the frequency where receiving becomes normal. Let's make this simple. You are not chasing money. You are learning how to allow it. When you chase, you tell your nervous system that you're far away from what you want. When you allow, you tell your nervous system that what you want belongs to you and is already moving in your direction. The difference in feeling is everything. Chasing is tension. Allowing is breath. Chasing asks, what if it never happens? Allowing says, of course it's happening. When you shift your inner message from pursuit to permission, life stops being a fight and starts being a flow. I want you to test something with me right now. Close your eyes for 3 seconds. Picture the number that would change everything for you. Maybe it's 50 million. Maybe it's 500,000. Maybe it's the exact amount that pays off debt, funds your next move, and creates a cushion that lets you breathe deeply at night. Now, instead of getting excited or panicked, look at that number the same way you look at the time on your phone. Neutral, normal, routine. You aren't begging for it. You aren't worshiping it. You're simply recognizing it. The mind follows what it normalizes. When wealth becomes normal in your inner world, your outer world organizes itself to reflect that normal. You might say, but I've tried to think positive before. This isn't about forcing cheerful thoughts. This is about precision. You can't out-affirm a nervous system that is locked in fear. So we'll teach your nervous system that abundance is safe. We'll do it with breath, clarity, and gentle, consistent action that proves to your body that receiving is not a threat. Your old pattern whispered that struggle is honorable and ease is suspicious. Your new pattern learns that ease is a byproduct of alignment, not laziness. When your beliefs, emotions, words, and actions point in the same direction, money recognizes the signal. It walks towards you because it finally knows where to go. I want to talk directly to the part of you that's tired. The part of you that has tried hard, worked late, and still felt like the finish line moved further away. You are not broken. You were running a race with your shoelaces tied together. You were trying to sprint while your mind pulled the emergency brake with thoughts like, I'm behind. It's too late. That amount is for other people. We are untying the laces now. We are releasing the brake. And when you take the brake off, you don't need to push the car harder. The car was always capable. It simply needed permission to move. Here's a practical way to give yourself that permission. Every morning, before touching your phone, place a hand on your heart and one on your belly. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4, breathe out for 6. Do that 3 times. While you breathe, say quietly, I allow abundance. I allow clarity. I allow opportunities that fit me. You're not asking, bargaining, or demanding. You're allowing. Then ask yourself one clean question. What is the next small action that a prosperous version of me would take today? Not 10 actions, not a grand plan. One small action that you can complete in less than 30 minutes. Send the email, make the call, Refine the offer. List the product. Learn the single skill that unlocks the next door. Your biology loves completion. Small completions stack into confidence. Confidence becomes identity. Identity becomes your new normal. Let's clear a common trap: waiting to feel worthy before receiving. Worthiness isn't earned by suffering. Worthiness is a decision you make once you recognize you were born with it. A tree does not apologize for growing bigger. The ocean does not apologize for being deep. Your soul does not apologize for wanting room to breathe. Money is not a judge. It's a tool and an amplifier. In kind hands, it multiplies kindness. In creative hands, it multiplies solutions. When you hold a tool with steadiness and integrity, the tool becomes safe to be around you. Money wants stewardship, not worship and not fear. Be the steward. Now let's anchor this in your daily life in a way that is gentle and effective. Throughout the day, when you spend money, on coffee, on fuel, on a bill, practice one sentence under your breath. Money circulates and returns multiplied. That sentence rewrites the old panic script that says, when money leaves, it never comes back. Circulation is a law. Your breath proves it. Your blood proves it. Your creativity proves it. When circulation is trusted, tension leaves your body, and your decisions get cleaner. Clean decisions create clean results. As a mentalist trained to notice patterns, I want you to see a pattern in your thoughts. Notice how quickly your mind offers worst-case endings. It's not because you're negative. It's because your survival brain loves certainty, and fear is a quick form of certainty. So we train your mind to offer best-case endings with the same speed. When an opportunity appears, instead of, it probably won't work, try, this could work beautifully, and here's why. Write down the 3 most realistic reasons it could work. Existing demand, a connection you already have, a skill you can learn within weeks. Now, the brain has something practical to grab. Fear loses its monopoly on certainty. Let's talk about numbers for a moment, because spiritual clarity and practical clarity go together. If the number in your head is 50 million, don't argue with it. But do break it into stepping stone amounts that your nervous system can celebrate along the way. The first milestone might be a clean cushion, 6 months of living expenses. The next might be a business milestone, consistent revenue that covers your life and funds growth. The next might be a capital event, an exit, a license, a book deal, a syndication, a partnership, a fund, a product line that scales beyond you. Large numbers become less intimidating when you understand the bridges between them. And there are always bridges. If you've been hurt by past attempts, a course that overpromised, a partner who vanished, a deal that fell apart, let's clear the residue. Close your eyes and recall that moment. Breathe into the center of your chest and say, that story ends today. You're not pretending it didn't happen. You're deciding it doesn't get to define what happens next. Wisdom remains. Bitterness dissolves. The mind becomes available again. Opportunity senses available minds. I want you to imagine a day 6 months from now. It starts quietly. You wake up without an alarm. Your bank notifications are calm. Your calendar has space for work that matters and people you love. You fund something meaningful because it delights you to do so. You feel steady. That steadiness is the wealth underneath the wealth. Money without steadiness still feels poor. Steadiness with money feels free. We're building both, inner and outer, together. Here's how we keep it honest. Abundance is not an excuse to avoid responsibility. It's a lens that makes responsibility purposeful and elegant. You will still send invoices, track expenses, refine offers, negotiate prices, meet deadlines, show up on time. You will still do brave things on ordinary afternoons. The difference is the quality of your energy. You're no longer sprinting in panic. You're walking with direction. You're not guessing who you are. You're remembering it. Let me give you a simple 3-moment practice to carry this beyond today. In the morning, you claim. Midday, you align. Nighttime, you integrate. In the morning, you claim with breath and one clear action. Midday, You align by pausing for 60 seconds and asking, is what I'm doing right now consistent with the life I'm creating? If yes, continue. If not, course correct softly. At night, you integrate by listing 3 forms of value you created: conversations, decisions, kindnesses, pieces of work completed. This tells your brain, I contributed today, which quiets the fear that you must overcompensate tomorrow. That quiet is where insight lives. You may still hear an inner skeptic say, but can it really be this simple? Simplicity is not weakness. Simplicity is power without theatrics. Breath is simple. It sustains you. Gravity is simple. It shapes worlds. The practices that carry you are almost never complicated. They are humble and consistent. They ask little and give much. Wealth appreciates consistency more than intensity. Small daily signals add up to a signature the world can recognize. When your signature is clear, doors learn your name. Let's add one more layer: language. Your words don't just describe your life, they code it. Speak in a way that your future can use. Replace I hope I can with I'm learning how to. Replace I never get opportunities with I notice and create opportunities. Replace I'm bad with money with I'm building money skill, and it shows. This isn't about pretending. It's about speaking from the version of you that is in training, not the version of you that has surrendered. You are in training. Training requires patience, but it also produces proof. If you've felt it's too late because of your age, your debts, your detours, hear me clearly. Your life experience is an asset, not a liability. You understand patterns faster now. You detect nonsense sooner. You value time more deeply. That maturity is magnetic to the right collaborations and clients. Let your season work for you. When you bring wisdom to the table, money pays attention. I'll give you one more mental image to carry. Picture your financial life as a river that runs beside your home. In the past, the banks of the river were cluttered with fallen branches, old beliefs, shame, scattered efforts. The current was there, but snags slowed it. Today, you're walking the banks and clearing a little each day. A limiting belief here, a late invoice there, a messy offer refined into a clear promise. With each small clearing, the current strengthens. You don't need to control the river. You honor it by keeping the channel clean. The river does the rest. Now, imagine opening your banking app again, not to chase a hit of excitement, but to practice steadiness. You see numbers that used to make your chest tighten. You breathe, shoulders soft, and say, thank you for circulating. You send money with decisiveness. You receive money with ease. You no longer narrate scarcity when you invest in yourself. You ask better questions. What return does this create? What skill does this strengthen? What relationship does this deepen? Money respects better questions. It moves toward clarity like plants move toward light. If this message is speaking to you, it's because you're already aligned with the energy of overflow. You didn't stumble here. You arrived. And arrival is a decision you can make again tomorrow and the day after. Decide gently, not dramatically. Decide by choosing the next small action that proves who you are becoming. Decide by allowing compliments to land instead of deflecting them. Decide by keeping promises to yourself in small ways until your word feels like bedrock. As we begin to close, place a hand on your heart one more time. Whisper, I allow abundance. I allow right work. I allow right people. I allow right timing. Feel the difference between forcing and allowing. Forcing exhausts you. Allowing organizes the room around you. You don't have to push the river. You walk beside it and keep it clear. You ask, you act, you receive, you circulate, you rest. That rhythm builds a life that feels honest and prosperous at the same time. If you want support staying in this rhythm, subscribe now. This channel is a place where your future self is already sitting in the front row, nodding. Leave a comment that says, I allow abundance and I act today, so you can return and see your own decision in writing. Share this with someone you would gladly prosper with. Prosperity shared is prosperity stabilized. Before you go, I'm going to speak a simple truth over you. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are a capable steward of more than enough. The number you chose, the one that once felt too big to say out loud, is simply a larger version of what you're already learning to manage with care. You will grow into it the way a tree grows into its canopy, quietly, steadily, rightly. And now the calming outro, so your nervous system leaves this video settled and strong. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Notice the room. Notice your body. Notice that you don't have to run to become who you are. Let the last words of this session sit in your chest like a warm stone. Abundance is here. I am ready, and I allow it. When you're ready, take your next small action. Then come back and tell me what opened. Subscribe so we can keep building this together. You've already begun.